Yes. All right, here comes then. Let's do a show. It begins in 3. Oh, wait, got to record. Can't not record it. That'd be dumb. All right, there we go. In 3, 2, 1.
You know, I've been watching a lot of documentaries on fashion during quarantine, on Versace and Hot Cooter.
Nothing was wrong, except that everything was wrong.
The morning stream, 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 the morning stream.
I'm bleeding to death. Humor me. This is the morning stream.
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream.
Guten Tag, everybody, and welcome back to the morning stream for Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Hi.
Hello. Happy hump day.
Is it? Oh, it is Wednesday. Holy crap.
It is Wednesday. Yeah, it's the day we look forward to and dread the most of our week.
It's my busiest day of the week. And it's also how we're doing this thing, dude, where the dogs. Okay, Kim's trying to fix the backyard, make it all pretty and ready for spring. And so there's mulch going in, and we're doing this stuff like that and whatever. Cleaning out old things, cutting down some bush branches that are too long, just kind of pruning. You know, you prune. That's what you do. And the dogs are used to going out there for their morning toilet, right?
Their morning constitution.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Constitutional, isn't that it? Morning constitutional?
Constitutional, exactly. And I usually go out, follow them around. Oh, that one pooped. Got to clean that up. Okay, cool. The other one peed. Well, what are you going to do? And then we go back in the house and everything's happy. But because Kim's in the middle of doing this and there's seed on certain parts of the grass that's back there and this sort of thing, she doesn't want the dogs rooting around back there and like peeing on her brand new seed and all this or ripping it up. So instead, we're like, well, let's just take him out to the backside grass and just stand there with them on a leash and wait for them to pee. They don't know what that means. They think that means it's time to go on a walkie.
We're going for a walk, exactly. Why are we just sitting here? This feels like we're going for a walk.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So instead, we just have to do, a short little walk in the morning, do it again later. It's not a big deal. People do this all the time. But they're not used to this, so we have to do it a special way. And we're not used to it because we're used to just like go out there, okay, come back in and eat. It's like no big deal. But because Kim's got to have her nice yard, she wants to have well-kept things, I guess I gotta win here.
I like the air quotes. That's good. Yeah.
I was like,
because our yard has to be HOA friendly.
That was one of my favorite things he ever did. I used to love those. Those were so good. I don't brush
have a
my
face
teeth
for TV.
I don't have good hygiene. Yeah, he's great. All right, I just wanted to spread the good word real quick. If you're like me and you like a good tactical video games that are like turn-based and strategic, and you got to make a good choice to take out a dude and move your dudes forward, and you take your turns and you spend your points. And
those too.
Oh, well, good news, because if you like that, if you like the XCOM, one of those games, that Gears Tactics came out yesterday, which is the Gears of War tactics game.
Yeah.
And just think of it this way, like Gears of War was always about hunkering down behind some cover, and sometimes that cover was better cover, and sometimes it was garbage, and it would get blown away if you didn't hurry up and make the decision. Turns out that translates really well to an over-the-head turn-based tactical game, and it's extremely good. Like, very good. I'm loving it. I got way hooked last night. I'm tired as hell because of it, because I stayed up too late. It's a very, very cool game. So is XCOM Chimera Squad, which came out like 5 days earlier. Also a very cool standalone little piece of business. A little smaller than your usual XCOM fare, but, a nice alternative if that's what you're looking for. But, man, it's an embarrassment of riches with the turn-based tactical games right now, and good gosh, they're good. So, big thumbs up from Scott over here in the bunker. Like that. Oh, if you have Game Pass on either Xbox One or PC, I have it on PC, which is like $5 a month. You just get it. It's just there. Just play it. It's yours. You get to have it. So,
wow, very cool.
Anyway.
I don't, so I won't get that.
No, you don't, so you won't.
I don't, so I won't.
Yeah, you have other games to finish first anyway. It's fine.
I do. I have lots of games to finish first.
Brian, we got a thing from somebody.
Okay.
Why did I write the word?
Somebody.
I wrote the word recommend. Oh, recommend.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When you know what, when we can't get Dunaway, I'd love to play a game where we pull a listener in, and they wager whether or not you can. Like, I'll pick a word, and if you spell it, well, they have to predict whether or not you can spell that word. Because I do love looking at the show notes. You are like a champion at a million different things.
Yeah.
Spelling is not one of them.
Oh no,
and that's
never
what
has
I love
been.
about you.
Never has
Yes.
been. Yeah.
And
Even
it's, you know.
even on the internet, or even on with all the little red underlines that help me these days, I'm still just terrible.
Right.
I just do what I got to do. I get through it.
So I think it would be fun to play Make Scott Spell It. when we don't have Dunaway, it's a way to do a little two-player game.
You should do that, or you do that one. What's that game where you have a phonetic set of words and letters, and it actually makes a real phrase? Like, say the phrase is "My car broke down," but it's all pronounced out in weird
like
spacing.
Mike Harbro.
Yeah. And then
Down.
those are fun. Those are fun. We could figure that
Uh-huh.
out. That could be a good one to do. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Anyway,
Or we do the spelling thing that I said.
or the spelling thing. That'll be fun. Either one's good. Right. Hey, yeah, I don't look. I come from a long line of bad spellers, and that's just the way it is.
It's nothing wrong with that. It's totally okay. Like I said, you are so good at other things. You can't be good at everything, Scott. It just isn't possible. So.
Also, I do know how to spell recommend. I think I just typoed that.
recommend.
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 I put 2 O's in there. Even I know those don't belong in there. Anyway, we got an email. This is up your alley because it's about printing, 3D style printing. It's from Brucey Cakes. Great name.
That is great. Yes, good old Brucey Cakes.
Yeah, I like it. Probably Australian. I don't know. Oh, maybe he is actually. Hold on. Let's see.
Could be. Brucey Cakes.
He says, "Hey Scott and Brian, I've heard you guys talk about 3D printing the face mask ear savers. I've been doing the same. I have an STL file that'll let you print 15 of them at once on an Ender 3 in 1.5 to 2 hours. Much faster than Brian's current rate. Let me know if you want me to send it to you. Love the content and listen to you guys every week," says Bruce. So do you want the...
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go ahead and send me the file. I've finished the requirement for Matter Hackers that I sent, and that's actually a question. If it's not built with the file that Matter Hackers sent, I don't know if they will accept it because they sent me a specific STL file. And really, here's the deal. I put as many as I could on the plate initially,
Yeah.
and when I was printing, I noticed that the ones around the edges would either start pulling up, and so I'd adjust the plate and level things, and I'd get 4 or 5 prints like that, and I'd have to adjust again. And if I did 3 right in the center of the plate, I never had to adjust a thing. Like, even if the corners got bogus, the pieces never pulled up. So that's why I just went back to doing 3 per plate. I would love to see how you do 15 at once on one Ender 3 plate, because these are a decent size.
Yeah, it must be like a cross stack thing or something.
Right. I mean, they have to be like, I wonder if you can, it's not like you can get the little nublets, you get those little nublets right here. If you can get those nublets interlocking, but you can't get those nublets interlocking.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd have to be, I don't know. I'd love to see how he fits 15 on a single Ender 3 plate.
Did you know I played Keytar for Bogus Corners?
For nublets?
No, Bogus
really?
Corners, yeah.
I played nublets.
Oh, nublets.
Yeah.
They were all right.
It's one of those 80s instruments that a lot of people don't remember, the old nublets.
Yeah, the nublets. You gotta took years really, but
one of these days I actually do want to get a Keytar. I want to find a cheap one on Craigslist, $100, $150.
Oh, I'm surprised you don't
Keytar.
already have one, to be honest. Seems like a thing you
Kind
would
of
have.
surprised I don't either,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it feels like something I'd already have.
Hang that on the wall. I'll do that. That's weird.
So,
When you were holding those parts up, it made you blurry, and then when you now you're not.
Yeah,
blurry.
I gotta get autofocus turned off on this thing because it messed things up yesterday when I was doing my headbanging demonstration.
Which was really special. It was a special moment. I loved it.
So Brucey Cakes, send that over to me at coverville@gmail.com. I'd love to see the 15 ear savers on a plate.
Yeah, that seems insane. It seems crazy, but we want to know. We want to see.
It does.
All right.
Like I said, if I have to print more of these, I could just print them for local donations because I do know a lot of people in the healthcare industry, healthcare workers.
That's true. We have a few in our community, so They could use them, maybe. Do you think one of our good doctor friend could use more of these?
I'm sure he could. Jerry
Yeah.
Tolbert
Yeah.
absolutely could.
Dr. Tolbert? Are you calling Dr. Tolbert?
I'm sure Wicked. I keep wanting to call her Wicked Kitten, but she's not Wicked Kitten. Her name's Liz, and she is Wicked
Wicked Truth.
Truth. I think that's right. Wicked Truth.
Truth. Yeah. Is that right? I think so.
Anyway, she's also in the healthcare industry, and she might have. I've already sent a set to her, but she might have other coworkers who could use them.
Well, I think that's a grand idea, and if you can poop 15 of these out, oh man!
Yeah.
Just think of the friends you could make. All right. I think I got the phone working today. 801-471-0462. You guys get ready to call that thing. Oh, we already got a caller. I'm going to pull that in while I add Dunaway to the call and while I play this. The Brian Dunaway you've heard so much about is joining us now on a Wednesday. Hello, Brian.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Hi.
Hello.
Had somebody the other day said they were listening to the oldest film sacks, and they said that we could not stop with that Bibby stuff fast enough.
We really thought there would be some confusion with having two people on the show named Brian.
Yeah, they thought it was a bigger problem.
Were we wrong?
Yeah, it wasn't a big
right.
deal. It was just like you can say Dunaway or Ibbett if you need to, but you know,
If you need to get into specifics.
Yeah.
Sometimes Randy will do that. He'll go, Brian, Ibbett.
What's your name?
Yeah.
But this guy was
gotta
like,
grab
man,
the time."
it's so cringy. I couldn't wait till you guys were done using that. And I'm like, well,
Yeah, I'm glad too. It is a nickname of mine. As a matter of fact, my Animal Crossing dude is named Bibby, and I've used that.
Oh, God.
Came from a coworker named Jack Renauer back in the 90s. He started calling me Bibby.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of which, I don't know if this is the place. Or, you know what? I'll tell you real fast. I did something in Animal Crossing that's a little weird. Yesterday, I bit my tongue and I didn't pick any fruit. Normally, it's my big harvest day. And the reason I didn't do it was on purpose. I didn't do it. I ran around, I got all my stones and my ingots and all that. Did my other stuff, but didn't touch a single tree with fruit on it. Because I have staggered growth dates. And so on like a Monday, a bunch of trees pop. And then on Tuesday, some other trees
like you
pop.
planted a bunch of fruit on some day, like you got
Exactly. I didn't synchronize my thing there. So here's what I'm doing. Yesterday I ignored it. Today I think everything's in sync. So I should have an idea of what is a hardwood tree and what is a fruit tree without having to even worry about it. And I'm going to chop down that other stuff because who gives a poop about those?
Now you will need those. Like for example, you would not have gotten any cherry blossoms if you didn't have some hardwood trees.
I heard that those still
correct.
float around. I heard that didn't matter. That the little blossom leaves would float around your town even if
Would
you
they?
didn't have the
Okay.
trees. So I may not
All
need
right, well,
those.
somebody
Well,
said
no,
that,
go ahead and chop down your hardwood trees, and then during the next event, I'll just laugh at you.
Yeah,
Go
I'll have
ahead,
to go to
go
an
ahead.
island. I have to go to an island and bring back hardwood trees.
I can totally do that. Go back, dig up
You can
4
totally
hardwoods, bring them back. Or, you know what I'll do? Because I know what they are now, I'll just shove them off to a corner where I don't give a poop
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah, exactly. Keep all your fruit harvest trees close.
Yeah.
Keep your
You
hardwood
guys need
trees
to come
closer.
to. You guys need to come to my island. I'm trying to really make my island of palm wood be literal.
Oh.
So
Okay.
every time I go to a mystery island, I dig up a whole palm tree and bring it back.
Where'd you get the whole goatee, by the way? I saw your character and you got like a whole full beard goatee.
Well, what you do is, first you have to harvest a bunch of hardwood trees, and then you get the lumberjack achievement, and then you. No, it was just from somebody's store. It was in.
Okay.
It was in one of the
Able
stores.
Sisters
I haven't
stores.
seen one of those yet. I want one of those.
I have a curly mustache.
I had
yeah.
that one too. I love it.
I love the curly mustache.
But
yeah.
wait, do you have the short curly or the long curly?
I have the long curly, so it almost
All right.
goes like ear to ear. It's that long
I do
and
too.
curly.
Yeah, yours is
Love
like the can. It's like the Mulan.
Totally
guy.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is
Or
mine. I
Mulan.
figured out who I am. This only makes sense to people who watch the old Twin Peaks, but I'm the psychiatrist that helped Laura Palmer.
Ah,
that's,
yes.
that's who my guy looks like. Dr. What was his name?
Dude.
Jacoby. Dr. Jacoby.
Dr. Jacoby.
As long as we're talking about stuff everybody's going to hate hearing about, I've been catching up on Riverdale.
Oh.
You guys watch that?
No, I hate it. I really
good that
dislike
you've been
it.
catching up on it.
Well, it's because they got a new season coming out, right?
Yeah, I hate that show.
Still?
Dislike it
I
greatly.
love that show.
Hate it. It's stupid.
It's so much trash. I love it. It's so fantastic.
It is trashy.
I've even cut down on the CW shows that I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Like I've dropped Batgirl or Batwoman. I've dropped. I'm still watching Supergirl, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow, and that's it. I mean, already they canceled Arrow. Black Lightning was good, but didn't grab me.
Yeah.
And so it's really just down to those three. And even, boy, Flash is just becoming. It used to be my favorite of those shows, and it's just becoming so.
Man, I'll tell you, this quarantine and COVID-19 has changed everything in my taste.
Apparently, if you're catching up on Riverdale,
Yeah.
Right? It's a different time. Well, it's sometimes I need something so obscure and ridiculous that I can't focus on the fact
Yeah.
that TV no longer seems realistic because I'm like, these people can't be standing this close together. This show is too realistic.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
I get that. I totally get
Yeah.
that.
So sometimes I need to go to a totally different world.
Well, we rewatched Veronica Mars, which was a high point of CW programming. That was a good show on that network. So I guess I'm doing my part to enjoy CW stuff. All right, we have a listener on the line for this contest we're going to do. They've been very patiently sitting here. Hi, who's this?
Hi, Scott, Brian, and Brian.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Who's this?
This is Jason from the Nerd Cave Retro Show.
Look, it's Jason
Oh,
from the
Hi,
Nerd Cave
Jason
Retro
from the
Show.
Nerd Cave Retro Show.
That's right. Check it out. Dude, that's a great way to do that because you got a plug already for your show, man. Well done. Nice
Well
job.
done. Yep.
Hey, welcome to the show, Jason. It's nice to have you here. Brian Ibbett here is going to explain to you what you could win today, what our topic is, and how this whole thing works.
That's right. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it didn't work.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
That
no.
worked.
Oh, no. Ah! Oh.
I'm messing with auto. I'm turning off autofocus and
Oh
found
my
that.
God.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm going to give Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, the winner is going to go to the other player. Your name was Jeff, is that right?
Jason.
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 Yeah.
Jason. Jason, your job, I was too busy playing with my Zoom, if you know what I mean. Jason, your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you are playing for the carryover prizes from Monday, the Mega Man 10 Legacy Collection. And
That's retro as hell for a guy who does a retro show. That's amazing.
Oh, no kidding. Perfect.
Yeah.
Also, if you have VR, you get the Steam Carnival.
Carnival.
This is the Carnival.
Yeah.
Dang it,
Steam
Carnival.
Carnival Games VR for your Oculus or Rift or whatever you have. And we're adding to the pile Resident Evil Revelations.
Ooh.
Is the dirty version. I don't know if it's really the dirty version of Resident Evil. It just
No.
feels like Taxi Cab Confessions.
It's more like, I don't know, it's actiony. Let's say that. Put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, so there you go. But before you can even guess who's going to win and who you want to go first, I need to give the topic to our players. And again, once again, I forgot to write down who gave us this one, so I'll find it while we're doing the show today. But the X-Men. There have been so many X-Men over the years, right? Tons of X-Men. They just keep adding. They keep finding new X-Men to add to the team. But there were 29 that were added. Actually, there were 35 that were added during the 20th century. I want you to name as many 20th century X-Men as you can.
Jeez. That's hard. The ones that were just added in the 20th century.
20th century. Robert Bruce Anderson, by the way, is one who sent this in.
So 20th century meaning somewhere between 1900 and 1999.
Yeah,
Right?
there you
Okay.
go. Yeah.
I'm just
Right.
making sure we're counting that entire.
Right. Because it's always confusing. Everybody, you know, oh, the 20th century. You know where that is, right?
Yeah.
That's the 2000s. No.
No, that was 21st.
Brucifer is in the chat room. He's the one who submitted this one. So good,
Oh,
Brucifer,
well
you get
done.
to watch this live. You get to watch this play out.
Yeah. You get to learn if this was a mistake or not. All right.
That's right.
Excellent.
Okay, so both guys very much into comics. Both of them familiar with the team of merry mutants named the X-Men.
Uh,
Jason, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, Scott, I love you, but I think Dunaway might have this one. So I'll have Scott go first and Dunaway for the win.
Well, he loves me, so
All
that's
right.
all I care about. That's fine.
That's all that matters.
All right, I will go first then.
Okay, you will.
I mean, this is going to be.
A long list.
Isn't it kind of all of them? Because
No.
or-
There's only 29.
Oh, no.
Actually, like you said, there are 34 of them that were added in the 20th century. There have been a lot since, but
that surprises me.
Right.
So since 2000, there's been so
Mhm.
many more added.
Mhm.
That's nuts to me.
and I'm not talking about the New Mutants. I'm not talking about Generation X. I'm not talking about X-Force. I'm not talking about, I'm just talking about
X-Force.
X-Men.
Okay.
Just X-Men.
Just X-Men. All right, let's start with Scott Summers Cyclops then.
Why don't you start with that one?
Cyclops.
Scott, since he's got your name, Cyclops, Scott Summers made his first appearance way back in, I don't know, X-Men 1.
Yeah.
Indeed, Scott Summers, Cyclops, a
Right.
member of said X-Men.
All right.
Gonna go ahead and go with. I'm gonna go right out and just go Professor X because
look
he's
at
the
that, yeah.
original X-Man.
Yeah.
Charles Francis Xavier. Also, first appearance X-Men 1, of course, and there you go.
The chat thinks you said Skyclops. I didn't hear it, but that's,
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
I think I heard Cyclops. I don't know what they
Yeah,
are.
who knows? I might have said Cyclops. I might have combined Scott Summers and Cyclops and said Cyclops,
Clipclops. Got it.
which is a great name for a superhero.
Skyclops is a
Absolutely
great
is.
idea. You can only
I'm
use
in the
his-
sky watching you with my one eye.
That's all he does is watch you from up there.
Right. He's like a watcher, not a
I see you! I'm watching you!
All right, probably my favorite of the originals is Iceman. So Iceman.
Sure.
That's a good one. That's a good
Bobby
one.
Drake, or Robert Louis Drake, also X-Men 1.
All right.
Let's get all these bad costume X-Men out of the way first.
Yep. Let's do it.
Right, right. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite characters, and just saw him yesterday when I was making an animated GIF. Thank you, Scott, for the animated GIF training you gave me Monday.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Technique is good.
He was right. So I was watching the X-Men animated series, and he was as this is the part that I'm having trouble with. There's he's been two incarnations. So if I say one incarnation, will I get both?
We'll see.
Okay.
Was he under the same name?
He was originally Angel, but I saw him as
okay.
Archangel.
Yeah, they both count as Angel / Archangel.
Okay. All right.
Warren Kenneth Worthington III, because he's rich. Yes, absolutely. X-Men 1. Let's get all these guys out of the way.
So far, we've stayed in the originals.
Yeah.
So
the
far, you
launch.
have not left the first issue, which I love.
Well,
Yeah.
we gotta, you gotta do your thing. All right. She
Did
would
you
have
have
been.
the supersized first issue of the?
I
old
did
X-Men?
growing up. Someone
I did
someone gave me that. I don't remember
Love
what
it.
happened to it though. Let's do Beast. It's
Beast?
Fraser's Beast. No, that was later.
I'm listening, Iceman. Yes, Henry Philip McCoy, Hank McCoy. There you go, X-Men 1. There's just one left in that first batch. You want to just pick all the low-hanging fruit?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna go with Phoenix. She was Marvel Girl back way back in the day.
I was
before she
hoping you were
got
going
her-
to screw that
Before
up.
she got her spacey powers.
Dang it.
Right.
I was really hoping he was
yep.
going to screw that up and just say Jean Grey. Well, it's just still Jean Grey, but you know.
Well,
What I mean.
she's still Jean Grey as well.
you would have
Jean Grey, I would've
taken it
taken-
either way, sure.
I
but-
totally would have taken it because for a while she went as Jean Grey in the
Mhm.
comics.
Lost her powers for a
Jean
while.
Grey,
didn't she?
Marvel Girl, Phoenix, all that
Marvel
stuff.
Girl.
Jean Elaine Grey. We're not even sure there was the Phoenix Force and the egg that was trapped under the water
Nah.
before X Factor, and then there were two, and then whatever. Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Phoenix, all that taken care of.
All right.
Now we're gonna get into. Now
Wolverine.
we're gonna probably get into the ones that
Yeah.
I loved.
Wolverine.
Nitty and gritty. coming up
Wolverine.
right now.
Wolverine. He's got the claws. It comes
Oh,
out and
yeah.
stabs
sure. There
with
you
it.
go. Giant size X-Men 1 actually made his first appearance in Hulk. That
Yep.
issue right behind me there. right
Hulk.
up there.
I have that.
Yeah.
I had that one for a while
Hulk
as well.
181.
Yep.
Yeah, a reprint. A reprint.
Well,
No, mine's not.
His
Mine's
is
original.
original. Yeah.
Mine's
Nice.
original.
Brian's.
But
Original.
some dumbass cut out the Marvel Values stamp off of the letters page.
Oh,
It's a
what?
non-artwork page. There's no art on the other side. It's just like a an ad for Twinkies or something. So comic pages are fine, but that does still decrease the
Who's the
value,
dumbass
obviously.
that did it though? Was it? You're not saying it was you.
It definitely wasn't me.
Okay.
Oh God, no.
I thought you were being
No.
self-deprecating and said some dumbass cut
Nope.
it out. Okay, all right.
Nope, I got it for cheap at a comic store, like really cheap, like maybe $5, and
Right.
still even, what that's considered fair quality when you've got a thing cut out of the middle. It's still worth a few $100s. So
Interesting. All right, I'm going Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, Ungabi.
Kurt Wagner. He is my absolute favorite X-Men of
X-Men.
all time.
He's great.
I've always liked Wolverine, but I'll be honest with you,
Mhm.
a little over, a little overhyped.
A little
For sure.
overhyped. Whatever.
Overhyped.
He's one of the
Yeah.
greatest characters in the history of comic books. But
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sure.
But Nightcrawler's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, John Says X-Men 1 back in 1975.
All right. How about we put in Weather Lady Storm there? Storm.
There you go.
Ororo. Oh, she knows what happens to a toad that's struck by lightning, if you ask her.
Yeah.
Storm, Aurora Monroe, also X-Men, Giant Size X-Men, Giant Size X-Men 1.
Giant-sized. Now, I wasn't, the Wolverine. I like the Wolverine, but I like
Sure.
the Wolverine Sprite matchups. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shadowcat. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, she went to Japan with him for one of those limited series, one of the Wolverine limited series, and helped him fight the Yakuza. Sprite, Ariel, Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, whatever you want to call her. Mirage, I think, for a while. First appearance, X-Men 138. Welcome to the X-Men, Kitty Pryde. We hope you survive the experience.
Yep.
1980, and there you go.
She done
Played-
gone through that wall over there. That was her thing, right?
That's right, and she's the bitch in the I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yep.
She's the aforementioned.
Yep. Played by Juno. What's her name? Can't think of her name.
Yes, Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the right name. All right. Rogue. She got the hair unit.
Ah,
going.
Rogue. Got the hair,
Rogue.
always touching people.
Yep.
Stop touching
Stop
me. Put on your
touching me.
gloves.
Rogue, Rouge, Anna Marie LeBeau.
Yep.
1983, first appearance as an X-Men in Uncanny X-Men 171. Her first actual appearance was in Avengers Annual 10, drawn by Mike Golden,
Oh.
where she stole the powers of Carol Danvers.
Yeah. She was played by Suki.
She was,
Yeah.
indeed.
I'm gonna go with Colossus. You notice I always like all the second tier X-Men characters. Those were
You know
always
what?
my
If you ask
favorite.
me, Colossus is another favorite of mine from those
Yeah,
years. The
he's
Dave
great.
Cockrum, John Byrne.
I
Chris
love him in
Claremont years.
Deadpool too. He's great in those things. So good.
Oh, yeah, in the movies? Yeah,
Yeah.
he is great.
Yeah. Very good.
For sure. All right, Colossus Peter Nikolavich Rasputin also made his first appearance in Giant Size X-Men 1.
Okay, now we're getting into some areas. Banshee. Is that-
Banshee, also another member you saw in Giant Size X-Men 1, Sean Cassidy,
Got it.
not
I
the
forgot about Banshee.
teen heartthrob.
Really, his
The,
name is Sean
right.
Cassidy. I actually
His
didn't
name
know
is
that.
Sean Cassidy, SEAN as opposed to the SHAWN.
Oh wow.
Sean Cassidy
All right.
died for a while. I think all of them on this list died for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody, well, all of them died. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
I
Didn't
think
all the X-Men
I
die
don't know if it's
in
every
the-
single one, but lots of them did. I know that
No, I mean that was like
Yeah.
a storyline at one point in time. They all died. Well, it's according.
Kitty
There's
Pryde
so
did
many.
in that Joss Whedon book. Forgot the name of the series, but she didn't die. She was like banished to be inside of a thing forever or something. What was the deal there? It doesn't matter. It's a very good story.
She's
You
stuck in
should
the
read it.
McCran crystal for a while. I
Maybe-
can't remember.
That might have been it.
Might have been it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
All
love
right.
that book though.
Another
So good.
kind of for a short time, Dazzler was on the scene.
She certainly
X-Men.
was.
Freaking
Allison
Dazzler.
Blair made her first appearance in Dazzler 1, obviously, but
Yes.
Uncanny X-Men 214 is when she joined the team. Cut her hair, wore a sleek blue, got rid of the disco roller skates, I think.
Yeah.
And just played it straight.
All right. My least favorite X-Men. You ready?
Ooh. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I know which one this is gonna
Jubilee. Jubilee.
Yes.
Jubilee, come on! You don't
Jubilee.
like firecrackers
No.
throwing?
No.
You let me throw some of these at your feet.
She sucked.
Jubilation Lee Joined the team in X-Men 258, Uncanny X-Men 258, 1990. Her first appearance was in the cartoon, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it was. I didn't know that. That explains
and then
it.
they added her to the comic because she was a fan favorite, kind of like what happened with Harley Quinn.
Yeah, same with
Right.
Batgirl, right? Didn't Batgirl start in the '60s Adam West show,
TV show?
and then
Oh, maybe.
I think so. Pretty sure that was her first appearance. Not sure.
Mhm.
If we're gonna do the '90s, we can't forget about Mr. Gambit.
Can't.
Mr. Gambit.
Rogue's husband, Remy Etienne LeBeau, joined the X-Men in Uncanny X-Men Annual 14.
And Wolverine didn't like it. No, sir, not one bit.
No.
Did
he
not.
didn't.
And maybe someday we'll actually get a Gambit movie.
Yeah. We only got half of one in that Origins thing.
Oh, God, yes, that's right.
That was pretty bad. Okay. Ooh.
Ooh,
An old favorite of mine was Bishop. I think that's a 20th
There you go.
century
Yeah, Bishop
thing.
was right in that same time too.
He totally was. Added
From the future, possibly.
added an X-Men 287. Yeah, it came from an alternate future where you had to have an M tattooed on your face if you were a mutant. Bishop,
Mutant.
Lucas Bishop, currently a Marauder, I believe.
Oh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Now, like in current
Current comic timeline.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I like that. All right, Dunaway.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with. I know it was way back. I think was it the '90s or the '80s when Longshot appeared.
I don't. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
have to.
go with Long. You're so quiet; it makes me nervous now. But I'm gonna go with Longshot. It's a
Either
long
one.
shot.
Yeah, 80s, 90s, doesn't matter. It's all still part of the 20th century. Yeah, Longshot. His real name is Longshot. He's got the power of luck.
He
And,
does.
He was during that time period where like Rob Lee and all those other artists like to draw stars on people's faces. Came from the Mojoverse, joined the X-Men in Uncanny X-Men Annual 10.
Did you ever read the standalone comic?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I have it
Longshot?
still. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the Dazzler and Longshot. You're right. I was such a sucker. I mean, if you had something that was flashy and little stars popping on it, I was like, yeah, sign
Now,
me up.
I did like the whole Mojoverse thing though, with Spiral and
yeah.
Mojo and
I have a question for the judge here.
sure.
Judge.
I have one in my head that technically he worked for the X-Men, but ended up a villain. Does it count if
There are people on this list who at one time or not, I mean, Gambit started out as a villain.
Yeah, that's true.
So if he was a member of, he or she was a member of the X-Men
For any
at one
period
point
of time.
during the 20th century,
yeah,
then they're
20th
probably on this
century.
list.
All right, my memory. This may be the end here, but my memory is that Magneto, for a while there,
That was my question.
worked for the Peeps, and then
He did.
He did. Oh, phew.
He absolutely did. Yeah, Eric Lenscher, Max Eisenhart, he goes by many names. Fred Magneto joined the X-Men in Uncanny X-Men 200 in 1985. For a while, he taught the school for gifted youngsters in Charles' absence, and
Right.
was like led the New Mutants for a while.
Yeah.
But
Kind of a Snape-like character in a weird way.
very much, yeah. He's not a bad guy.
He's just trying to do good things.
Exactly.
Different
He just
way of
believes
doing
that
it.
Homo superior is the master race. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
All right,
fine.
back to Brian. You guys are doing
All
great with this
right.
list, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like we're hitting.
All right, so
hitting
well,
the rim.
yeah, that's all about to change.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've hit all the major characters and all the major storylines. And when I was thinking about that Kitty Pryde earlier,
hmm
is Lockheed
Lockheed.
considered an X-Men?
Lockheed is on the list.
Whoa!
I don't know why, but Lockheed is included on this list. Yeah,
Like I
Lockheed the
said, I was
Dragon.
out. He is totally an X-Men.
He's totally. He's
I mean,
included-
do y'all remember the spin-off series where Kitty Pryde and Lockheed and
it was actually called Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, right? The
Yeah,
limited
yeah,
series?
yeah.
Lockheed also made his first appearance in X-Men 168 in 1983. Currently seen in the Marauders comic as well. And
The reason why I remember that so well is because it was right at the end of my collecting before I took a hiatus until the 90s came around, and I
Mhm.
started back up again for a short time and stopped.
Right.
I don't think I ever got many things after the 2000s until
I didn't either. That's about when I
Yeah.
stopped buying. Yeah. Well, I take that back. For a while, I was getting just X-Men. That like there were two. There was like a regular X-Men comic and then an Uncanny. They continued Uncanny. I was getting those two, and then I was getting 3 or 4 Spider titles.
yeah.
Also, Dice Tomato. I'm glad he actually asked this. Joined during the 20th century, became an X-Men during the 20th century, not created in the 20th
right.
century. So characters that became an X-Men after 2000 or 2000 or after, even if their character was created in the 90s, would not count.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if Juggernaut for some reason had a spin in the 2000s as an X-Men, but he
Right.
was created in the 90s, was always a villain in the 90s, he doesn't count.
Correct.
As an
Yep,
example.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
A good example of this that's not on the list that I can. Well, I won't say because one of you guys might say it. So never
Well,
mind.
Say it.
I'll tell you what. I may have come to my to my end here. Let's see. I'm just gonna make another wild guess.
Too wild.
Uh,
I keep getting confused with people who joined the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, all these extra
Yeah.
Well,
offshoots.
you gotta think about Excalibur. Like some members,
Yeah.
Nightcrawler was an Excalibur for a while, but there were some other people who were that. Did they become X-Men in the 90s or was it in the 2000s and things like that? Dice Tomato is correct. Yes, Emma Frost would be out, and so I'll just say that one now to get it out of the way. That Emma Frost. That's the one I was gonna say is she's an X-Men now, or she was an X-Men for a while. And I think Jean Grey at one point shattered her because she got the ability to turn into have diamond skin after a while. She was just a telepath, but
shadow power. Or shatter power. Okay, I'm gonna say Judge Dredd. There you go. That pretty much does it into. I don't know anybody
I
else.
was nervous.
I'm all out of stuff. I got no others. There's
threw
none.
the ball into the sidelines. Downed pass.
Yeah. that was
All right, let me
bad.
throw a few more out here. Did you have
Wait.
some more, Brian? Yeah.
I had 2 questionable ones.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember if Cannonball was actually. Did he ever become
Cannonball
an X-Men?
joined the X-Men in 1995.
Because that was like one of the storylines.
Yes, he
Right.
He started out in New Mutants, made his first appearance
Exactly.
on that graphic novel, but then became.
But then
an
he went
X-Men.
on because he was one of the few that actually went on to graduate into that, and that was a lot of.
Yeah, looking at the list, he Wolfsbane, Mirage, Karma, none of them became X-Men in the 2000 before 2000.
because that was the whole rub.
Mhm.
And then I was trying to remember if any of the Morlocks became temporarily. Now in the Logan, Caliban
Caliban, right?
was in there.
He-
Did he ever actually?
He did not become one, and now he was I think he was on X-Force for a while.
Okay.
But Caliban was on a hero team for a bit. Left the Murlocs. Murlocs, was that what they were called in the?
Were they called Murlocs?
No, Morlocks.
Morlocks. I
Morlocks.
was gonna say.
Morlocks. That's why it didn't sound right. Wait a minute.
Morlocks.
All right.
Morlocks.
So what you're saying
Mormon-locks.
is because Jason chose the order, that's the win today. That is
that was
literally
the
why.
win today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
Let me give you some more here, though. I mean, come on, Scott Summers' brother. Come on.
Who was he? Who is he? I don't remember who he is.
Oh no! Fire!
Oh, Starfire.
Firestorm. Is it
Starfire?
Oh, I always get him confused with the one in the DC. Oh, what's his
No.
name? Is it?
Firestar.
No.
It's not. What
No.
is it?
Havoc is
Havoc.
Scott
I
Summers'
thought we
brother.
said Havoc. Oh, Havoc.
say
That's
Havoc.
We didn't do
right.
Havoc.
And his wife or girlfriend, Polaris.
And
is
the
from
rest.
X
Oh
too.
God.
Oh, I'm thinking of Sunfire. Did no one say Sunfire?
Sunfire.
Nobody said
Sunfire.
Sunfire
Shit.
either. The
Dang
first
it.
Japanese X-Man.
Ugh.
Mimic, who was
Mimic.
in before, basically they added 2 X-Men between the time the original 5 came out and the giant size X-Men where Wolverine and Nightcrawler. Mimic and Changeling both came in around that time.
Okay.
One of them, and I think it was Changeling, actually was Professor X for a while after the big turnip guy killed him. There was a series called X-Men Deadly Genesis that retconned history. It came out in 2006, but the characters became X-Men during the 20th century. So it was like a flashback story. I would have taken it, but it's really goofy.
Yeah.
Petra, Sway, Darwin, and Vulcan were all
Vulcan?
actually a third Summers brother named Vulcan.
Okay.
Sunfire, you just mentioned. Thunderbird, one of our 2 Native American X-Men.
Yeah.
That's right.
A Nukchuck, you'd say.
Prestige.
Just kidding.
Dang it.
Prestige, who was also Phoenix and Marvel Girl. It was Rachel Summers, their daughter, joined the X-Men. She had the lines on her face. Psylocke, or Captain Britain as she became, Elizabeth
Oh, did we
Benedict
mention
by
Psylocke?
Olivia
I thought
Munn.
we said
Nope.
that.
Forge, Revenge,
Revenge.
Joseph, Cecilia Reyes, Marrow, and Maggot.
Maggot!
You're just making up. You're just making up words
Maggot's,
now.
Maggot. I
Right?
should have
Yeah.
thought of
You're just-
Maggot because Maggot's gross. Totally forgot
Anyway.
Maggot. Sunfire would have been my win. I would have had it had I remembered something.
You would have had
I
Sunfire.
can't remember Sunfire.
Gosh
for some
dang
reason.
it. All right. For anyone in the chat who thinks I really thought Judge Dredd was an X-Men, it was a joke. I was done. I was all out of stuff and I threw it out as a joke. I could have said Batman. You think I didn't think he was on DC? There are people who are like, sure, Scott, whatever. Yeah, I know he's not a Marvel character. Gosh dang it.
For Brian Dunaway, here is Kitty Pryde and Lockheed right here.
Yeah, look at that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Oh,
it
because
from
you're
my
on Zoom.
microphone.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're on Zoom. That's why.
So you'll have to watch. You'll have to watch the video later.
Discord?
Yeah.
I have a lot of the giant size X-Men, or not giant
Oh,
size,
cool.
but that era.
Yeah.
In action figures over here behind me.
Hey,
Colossus,
hey-
Nightcrawler.
Hey, Jason, check
cool.
this out.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You won, dude. How do you feel right now? How does this feel?
I feel fantastic.
Do you really? That's great because I could sure use some of that feeling. That sounds really good. We're going to get these prizes to you. Send an email to coverville@gmail.com. He'll hook you up with that. And you, yeah, go ahead.
As a matter of fact, we have 2 Steam codes for Anodyne to give away on our show tonight at 7:30
Oh,
Central.
cool.
If you wanna
Anodyne
follow us
is
at Nerd Cave
awesome.
Retro.
That is a cool game. I bought that thing on the Switch for, I don't know what it was, on sale the other day. No, it wasn't even on sale. I just bought it for $10. That is the coolest little Zelda-like game on the Switch. It's
Oh,
rad.
it's great.
Yeah, totally
I did
recommended.
a review of it a few weeks ago, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's way better than you'd even think. It's very good. Anodyne, for those wondering what we're
Matter of
talking
fact,
about.
Hey Scott, before I go, what's up with your Mississippi trip? Are you still coming here or no?
So the plan is, right now it's still the flights are still booked, but I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
I keep hearing, like, I don't know. We're leaving them booked partly because the airline doesn't care when we try to either cancel / what's the other thing they do with them, furlough them or make them into a future ticket or whatever. Delta doesn't care when we do it, so we're just going to keep it for as long as we need to. The house we had lined up to stay in is a friend of the family's down there, and so that's still open and fine. So it's not like there's lots to cancel. So we're going to wait until the last possible minute before the decision is made, and then we're going to decide. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bugging me that I
Keep in
don't know.
touch like we have been, and we'll get together whenever you get to come down.
Yeah, I would love to, for sure. Even if it's for, I mean, I don't know. If we're coming, we're meeting up. That's what we're doing. If we're,
I won't touch you.
Yeah.
We'll stand 6 feet apart.
6 feet
and
apart,
wave at each
you
other.
can just farmer blow on me from that distance. That'll be fine. Jason, it's fantastic to have you on, dude. Have a great day, week, and everything, and we'll get you this stuff right away. We'll see you
Have a
later.
great everything.
Have a great everything. Jason's a cool guy. He was on Current Geek once. He was very good on there. All right. Hey, Dunaway, that was great. Hey, don't worry if you think you're too cool for school, because next time I'll just beat you. Next Monday, it's fine.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
This weekend, you, me, Bibby here, and
Bibby.
and Randy Jordan will be covering the film Raw Deal for FilmSack. Raw Deal, another Schwarzenegger film.
Fire up your Amazon Prime.
paper. I got a totally raw deal.
That's the whole plot. You gave it away right there.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Oops. So that's this weekend, and we're excited about it because I think it may be the only Schwarzenegger movie I've never seen. I don't know about everybody else here, but I've never seen it. So
I haven't
I've seen
seen
it.
it either.
you have seen
Seen
it,
it
okay?
several times. Love it.
Interesting. Well, then-
So bad.
oh, good.
but so
Really?
good.
Great. Okay. Well, then there's
Well,
that.
yeah, relatively speaking.
There's that.
When
and
I
then,
say I've seen it recently, it's more like I've seen it on loop on a couple of questionable channels I watch. Mostly
questionable
on Pluto.
channels.
Questionable. Wow, I love it.
Well,
How about questionable? I should have said questionable quality and not questionable.
Right. You should. That's a better way of saying that. Actually, Pluto's rad for finding weird, dumb stuff. It's
Love
pretty
it.
great. Yeah. I live with those commercials because what you get for it is pretty cool. Anyway, it's Brian Dunaway, the Brian Dunaway on Twitter. Follow him there. Give him a pity follow. After a win like this,
thank you.
just a pity follow. It's fine. All right, man. See you later. Bye. All right, he's gone. I was feeling very competitive today. I feel like I could have won that one. I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
Listen,
you could win all these, but you're not.
That's one I know stuff about. All right. We have no time for news, so we're not doing news.
No time for news, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, we'll do news tomorrow. No big deal. That means it's already prepared for us. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Tom Merritt will be here. We're going to talk about technology and what's happening in today's tech news. And then Nicole will be here for recommendals. I see Brian's got 2 more of these today. Man, you are just really pounding it down.
I do, and we don't have to use them both. We could just use one if you'd like.
No, we can use them both. We can totally do both, I think.
Okay.
I can't think of a reason why not to. Oh, except I have it in the wrong order. 2 and 1. There it is. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we'll be back in a minute, but we got to play a song, damn it. So you pick the song, and let's play it.
This is an artist named Alex.
You know how I hate to shop for things for girls. The clerks look at you so funny and everything.
What this monkey didn't sniff was opportunity.
The Morning Stream. What are you gonna do? Charge me with smoking?
All right, we're back, everybody. I liked that a whole lot. That was good.
Very dream poppy, and First Aid Kit Bobby Franks brought up in the chat room. Yeah, good comparison there as well. I mean, yeah, there's some Lana Del Rey in there, but I think she steers away from that after the opening before the music kicks in.
Who's I don't know who that is. That other band.
First Aid Kit?
Yeah, First Aid Kit.
I've played them. I think I've actually played them on this show before.
Oh.
They are a duo that has done a few covers. I want to say they did an entire album full of covers. I'll have to look it up and see what they did. But
First Aid Kit. Everyone should have one. That's an important thing to remember.
You should have a first.
Have a first aid kit handy whenever you might need it.
Correct.
And right now is not one of those times, because right now we have this instead.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
That man, as always, is Tom Merritt. Tom, welcome to the show.
It's true. I'm always Tom Merritt.
Yep. Never changes.
Or am I?
Well, hey, we were talking about shape-shifting X-Men earlier. Maybe you're one of those.
Maybe I am. Maybe I ain't.
Maybe you ain't. But you are a technologist.
I'm a podcaster.
Technofarian is
All
what
right.
you are.
I'll meet you.
Textafarian.
Textafarian. There you go. Talks about tech every day on a daily tech news show called The Daily Tech News Show, and it's a fantastic look at the day's tech news, as you might imagine, and comes on the show on Wednesdays and talks about that very subject or subjects therein. So what's going on during this week of April in the world of tech?
Now, did you all talk about the U.S. Patent Office declining to let an AI get a patent?
No.
We spent the entire episode yesterday talking about that. I don't think we can spend any more time.
So weird, especially because it just broke today.
Yeah, it's weird how we were smart about the future. No, we have not. In fact, here's the honest truth. Just heard about it now when you said it. So tell us more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is one of those wonderful occasions when a typical TNS story and technology news just go right over each other, like asphalt over your grandma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. How did you know how my grandma was buried? Man.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Grandma didn't like that. She got right back up. She's fine. Okay. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has rejected 2 patents where the AI system Dabus was listed as the inventor, D-A-B-U-S. This was a ruling on Monday, so I guess you could have talked about it yesterday. The Dabus AI was created by a researcher named Stephen Thaler. And so when he filed the patents for 2 designs, he was feeling a little like, I didn't make them. You know, I just ran the AI and it came up with the design. I can't take credit. So he put Davis down. The U.S. Patent Office says that individuals can be assigned patents, not companies. That's something that people may not be aware of. The Patent Office does not allow companies to hold patents, only individuals. Now, an individual can then transfer that patent to a company's ownership, et cetera. But the registration can only go to an individual. And so the Patent Office had to decide how to treat an AI, which is neither a company nor a human. And it said, well, we think individual means a natural human, a natural person, I think is how they said it, natural person. And so therefore we can't give a patent to an artificial intelligence system.
Interesting. Do you think that is ever going to be a thing, though? Like, the smarter they get, at some point we're going to have to distinguish the difference between this.
Now is the time. Now is when we're making that decision. It's not a someday. It's this AI came up with a design for interlocking food containers that are easy for robots to grasp.
Yeah.
And a warning light that flashes in a hard to ignore rhythm. These
that.
are both absolutely patentable things that people would invent.
Normal people would get a patent for.
And right now the U.S. Patent Trade Office is saying, well, it still has to go to the human who made the AI, not to the AI. Now, we may get to the point where we change our mind on that. In fact, the World Trade Organization the World Intellectual Property Organization has a consultation ongoing on the issue. So this is, again, one of those situations in technology where I think you need a new policy, like a new category of patent that acknowledges that no, the individual didn't come up with the idea, but the individual made the thing that created the idea. And so that kind of is a whole new classification, because they're right. The AI, and maybe where you're going with your question, Scott, is like, is there someday when an AI can get so good at thinking that it might be a person? And that's a whole different situation. And maybe, 100 years down the road, we face that issue where the AI is like, hey, you should treat me like a pure person. But right now, the AI doesn't even know it's doing this, right?
Right.
It's just an algorithm that's kicking out stuff.
Plus, we have a notion in this country anyway of all men and women are created equal. We don't have a notion yet that all AI will be created equal, or we're not even to a point where all AI is created equal.
We would need an amendment for that.
We would. And boy, that's some fun stuff to think about. The idea that there's some future where we make an amendment to our Constitution to allow for
Mr.
the
Coffee
equal
and
rights.
Siri are on the same level.
Yeah, like that would be really weird.
Now, Argineer says all AI patents should be instantly public domain. And that would be a great way to stop all AI research from coming up with patentable ideas, because there wouldn't be any point in doing it anymore if people didn't think they could get protection for their ideas. That's the reason we have patents. So I'm not sure that's the right solution, although maybe it's a different term of protection for, like an AI patent is not good for the full term for some reason.
Well,
there could be some stuff there.
Tom, let me put it this way. I'm no expert in law, but I will say this. If I took a hammer and I made a machine with that hammer and I wanted to patent that machine, I could do it. The tool I used was a hammer that was long ago.
Yeah, but the hammer didn't come up with the idea for the machine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the whole deal with patents.
But somebody came up
whose
with,
idea was this?
But somebody came up with the AI that made the thing. So isn't it? It's
right. So you can get a patent on the AI.
The tool. It's a tool still, though, right? It's still a tool.
But it's more than a tool. That's what's interesting about AI is it doesn't fit neatly into the category, because we've never had a tool that could come up with that could output an idea on its own.
Right. That's true. So this is new territory no matter what.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat suggested an AI judge would have to make a ruling on this. Oh boy, now we're in the weeds, man. Now we're in the weeds.
But then if an AI judge, who's creating the AI judge? Who gets credit? Yeah.
Right. When do we have an AI president? Then do we have an AI world thing? I mean, the UN is nothing but AI.
This actually gets easier if AI gets more sophisticated.
Yeah.
If AI now starts to show self-awareness someday, long into the future, then this becomes less of an issue, because then you can actually fight for AI personality rights and say, no, they're thinking individuals. They make their own decisions. But AI isn't like that. Like, this AI can do the thing it was trained to do, and it can't do anything else, and it can't answer questions about how it feels. So it really is more like a tool, but we've never had a tool that created the thing without any kind of input directly in the idea. Like there
Right.
was input in training it to come up with ideas, but one of the problems with AI is they're a little bit of a black box. We don't really know how they make decisions. We just know that if you train them on things, they will then make decisions that fit the results that we were looking for.
Right. I think it's fascinating, though. It's really super interesting, this entire thing. And so there's your first, I don't know if it's your first major point of decision on when it comes to this sort of thing, but I'll bet more of this comes up later. Give it a few years, give it 10, 20 years, and we'll start to have AIs that not only made the thing, but can answer you and feel like they're kind of human-y, and you'll be like, oh, wait, if I hit it in the head with another hammer, let's say, am I infringing on the rights of this AI, or am I just hitting a piece of machinery? Starting to wonder about these things, and it starts to get super sci-fi, and that's where I like to spend my time. So we'll see how it goes in the future. More on that cool story and a whole lot more today on the Daily Tech News Show. Anything else brewing out there you want to mention going on right now?
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of earnings. This is earnings week, so we're getting a sense of how companies did through the first quarter. It's a little bit hard to tell what that means, given that we had 2 quarters of great growth and 1 quarter of everybody's in lockdown.
Yeah.
And so everybody's trying to divine, looking at Alphabet, Spotify, et cetera. We got Facebook and Apple coming up in the future. So I think Facebook today, Apple tomorrow. Yeah.
Google was saying, or I don't know if it was Google saying it, and I only saw this cursorily this morning, so I hesitate to even bring it up. Something about ad revenue was showing a dip, even though we don't have data for the lockdown period necessarily, but they were warning.
Yeah, they said they did better than expected, but they did have a drop in advertising in March, of course, and they expected there to be a significant drop in advertising in Q2 as well.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of Google. Well, Alphabet, I guess. So we'll see how that pans out. Today we'll talk about those and other issues right here on the Daily Tech News Show. I'm a guest on there on Wednesday, so I'm very much looking forward to it with Sarah and you and Roger, of course, and anyone else who happens to be there. Tom,
come on by.
Tell us about your book again, because man, books are great. This is a great time to be reading them.
Yep.
Tell me about your
you
book.
can't really get a hold of a print copy of Trigger right now because the print copies are all in a place that no one is allowed to go to because of social distancing. It's just kind of a victim of
virus-laden warehouse.
Yeah. So they're thinking that June is when they'll be allowed to go get the books, and then they can start shipping them out to people. But everybody who backed the book has an e-copy available, and anybody can buy either an ebook or an audiobook of Trigger. Trigger, of course, further adventures of Pilot X and his time ship Verity in search for coffee, pie, and a way to save the universe from destruction.
That sounds so good right now. I'm going to go read my copy. You should do that as well, everybody. Tom Merritt, Ace Detect on Twitter.
Pie and coffee.
Yeah, pie and coffee. Why not?
The appropriate way to read it.
Tom Merritt, we'll see you later on DTNS. Have a good one. Bye now. Oh, he said thanks, but then I cut him off.
Yeah.
He
might have said, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a
you
lot.
Jerks.
A-holes.
We cut him off. Yeah.
Bum holes.
God,
all right. Nicole's not online. That probably means that I should have texted
probably
her.
means she's due for an oh crap.
Let's see if she'll do it. Okay, we're going to place our bets. Here we go. All right, Nicole. All right. Whoops, that's Nick Johnson. Wrong NIC. Okay, Nicole, I'm going to say, hey, hi, you on board today? Hey, how are you? And let's see if we get a crap out of her. So you're saying crap. I'm going to say.
I'm saying crap. Yeah.
I think she might drop an SHIT here.
Well, she is a druggie now, so.
Yeah, that's true. I want to hear that story. She has to be here. I want to hear the story about her getting stoned. Because she got stoned. Like, not on purpose. It was an accident.
Not on purpose. I just love it.
It's great. She was texting this earlier in the week, and I couldn't believe it. It was pretty funny. All right, I see no response. Maybe she's stoned now. I don't know. What's going on there?
Maybe.
I mean, I'll try adding her, see what happens. Okay, nothing, no. Okay, nothing yet. I'm going to pause this. Okay. So we'll just pause the show for a moment.
Okay.
Well, did you hear that? That was you.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't mean to do that.
It was great. Great timing.
Let me hear it again. Hold on.
Yeah. Great. You have a whole button for that. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Did the text come through? She says nothing yet. Okay. Well, we'll just give her a
Not even
minute
3
here.
dots.
I'll give her another.
Say we
moment.
could even start and just you know.
I mean, you got the 2. Maybe we could start. All right. You know what? That's what we'll do. While we wait for her to.
Just in case.
Oh, nope. She's
Oh.
answering.
Oh.
I see it. Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is.
I see
Yay!
Nicole. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Do you hear us? We don't hear
She
you.
does not by that look, she doesn't.
No, that face tells me she doesn't hear us yet.
Or she's high. I don't know.
Or
One
she-
of the two.
All right, wait. Oh,
I asked her if we could talk about this on the show. Well, that's funny.
can
I
you
thought, didn't we
hear
just hear her
us?
typing?
Yeah, was that her
Oh.
typing? What'd she say?
Sounded like.
Oh, she says, I don't hear you. Well, that's when you're supposed to yell Mark. That's got nothing to do with us. Because I just talked to Tom, so I know that's all working. Let's see. Yeah, we heard you type. Oh, I hear her now. Can you hear us? Nicole, can you hear us? Oh, gosh. I'm terrified by what's happening.
It's an earthquake in Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah. Lakewood, is that the little suburb? I like that sound of that name.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, hi. There you are.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
I just muted you. I didn't realize I hit the mute button.
Well,
but,
the mute buttons are
yeah.
weird, man. You just can never tell what they're going to do.
Your delivery is here.
Hold on a
Oh,
second.
okay. Okay.
Move this
All right,
over
we'll be
here.
done in 10 minutes. so you
Oh
can
my
get your
God.
delivery.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get your delivery in 10 minutes. It'll be done.
Or less.
Or less. Hey, it's Nicole.
It's my birthday present finally coming.
Oh, very nice. Hey, do you want to just quickly tell us your stoner story so we can hear how that went?
Snoop Spaggy Spag.
Yeah.
Ring ding dong. So I've always been asked, have you ever been high? I'm like, I don't think I
Yeah.
have. So I accidentally got high. I think it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday. Today's Wednesday. So I have nerve damage in my left arm and anxiety.
Yeah.
So I take CBD with a little bit of THC
Sure.
to manage that.
Yeah.
I inadvertently bought a gummy that was 5-to-1, and I was thinking it was low. I was a dummy that didn't read.
Oh, you thought
how
it was
much
5-to-1 CBD versus.
It was 5-to-1 CBD. It was just a high THC, so it was like
wow.
50 CBD and 10. And I'm like, I was in the, so I took it in the morning and I'm like, okay, going about my day, and I'm sitting on the couch looking at my phone, and I'm like, why is my head why am I dizzy?
Yeah.
Why am I craving Cheetos?
And then it hit me. I go, oh God, I'm high.
Yeah. I love that.
And I went into Mark, and I've never been high. I can tell you that now. I've never been high.
Yeah, now you know for sure because you haven't felt that. way before.
I'm on the show with the accidental drinker and the accidental toker.
Yep,
Great.
that's right.
I do not like it. I can tell you that. I never want to be high again.
Yeah.
But have you already moved on to smack?
Stop it.
What is smack? Is smack?
I just don't like.
I thought smack was pot.
I don't know what smack
Yeah.
is actually.
I don't know.
I think it's like cocaine
Oh, is
and
it?
probably something else. I don't know. Anyway,
pot.
I can tell
You'd
you,
know.
I don't. Shut up. I don't like the feeling. I got really dizzy. I couldn't I felt like I was 5 steps behind my thought process.
Oh God, yeah.
And I told Mark, I'm like, I'm just gonna go down in the basement and lock myself in the basement and don't come.
Homeschooling is off today.
Yeah.
It was totally. I'm like, switch it in. Have fun playing video games, kids.
Yeah. No kidding. Take that day
I
off.
slept till 1 o'clock.
But then I got high.
Yeah. You know what, Nicole? You're just like me. I don't like that feeling. I don't
like not feeling like myself.
Yeah, I don't like it. And that can come
and
for me. It can come from almost anything. It's like taking even a sleep aid or like anything that I feel just a little like off or
I usually stop binge drinking right before I feel like that. That's when I stop.
So yeah, I accidentally got high, and how do you do that? Well, you don't read the label.
The song goes, I was reading the label and I read it wrong, but then I got high. Right?
I was gonna take some CBD, but then I got high.
Smoke weed every day. Well, anyway, don't go down that path now. Well, no, you won't now. It's not the gateway drug.
No,
it's the blockade drug for you. You're like, whoa, hold on, I'm not going
Yeah.
that way again. So
I mean, I'm an advocate of like CBD. I don't like the psychedelic side of it because it does help me with the nerve pain and the anxiety. Just educate yourself.
Yeah. You're like you Mr. Magoo'd that label is what you did. You know, he's always like, you can't see what the hell it is, and he's like,
it looks like only 5 milligrams.
Yeah, I was like, I got a package of spaghetti, and you go home and find out it's wax paper. It's like that. You got to be careful.
Well, and everybody's tolerance is different. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody listening that does get high, and they're like 10 milligrams. That's nothing. Well, for me, it was.
Yeah. For someone who's never done it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine if I took
Plus, if
something
you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, right? Like you can. That's how I am. Like
exactly.
An Excedrin puts me through the roof. I can't do it.
Can't wait for
that.
Mateo to discover this episode in 10 years.
God,
I know. It's out there on the internet.
So Dice Tomato said CBD shouldn't be psychedelic. Correct. CBD is not psychedelic. It's THC.
Right. It's the THC that gets you.
No matter what happens to Fred and Can.
Oh man, that day I got so much heat for what I was. I'm just saying a can of cream corn, a can of expired cream corn. We don't know how it will react if you gave it CBD. We haven't done the tests. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay though. Right? I'm just glad you're
totally
okay.
Fine. I'm totally fine.
All right. Well, that's gnarly.
I got the day off. That was kind of nice.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah. I
did find myself dancing. I do remember little things, and I thought if I got active, maybe it'll wear off faster. So I was dancing by myself, and
I think that's why that's why all those people do those weird things when they're high.
Hold on, what did
wear
you,
off the effects quicker?
What was the did you dance to something, or was it just
no? It
Bob
was
Marley. Were you dancing to Bob Marley? 311.
Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Grateful Dead.
Fish.
That's acid. That's the next one. That's next one.
Okay.
Gateway smack, then acid, then who knows what's after that.
Oh God.
Well, anyway, welcome to Recommendals. Secretly, I'm hoping whatever you watched was while you were high, but maybe not. We'll find out.
No. I didn't. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't look at my phone.
Dazed and confused.
Oh my God! I could not look at my phone at all, or else I start spinning. Yeah,
I get it.
It's not a good effect on me.
it's the feeling they're supposed to chill you out, but for me, I do the opposite. It makes me feel out of control, so I freak out. It's like
I did too.
And I've never been quote unquote stoned either, but even just like a sedative when I got my eye surgery done, it just makes me go, this isn't normal. I'm not supposed to feel like this. What's this about? I can't enjoy it, for what it is.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, all right. Let's get to it, Brian. Let's start with your clips for Recommendals today, as we often do.
Before we get to those, two quick things. These were previous Recommendals. I am not okay with this. Fantastic. I know both of you watched it and had nothing but great things to say about it. I'm going to third those sentiments.
Yeah.
I described it on Twitter today as if John Hughes directed Carrie.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And it's fantastic.
That's basically correct. It's like John Hughes and a little bit of like, I don't know, Twilight Zone or something, just a weird combo. And the John Hughesiness of it is so genuine and nice.
There's an entire Breakfast Club episode of the show.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's 3.5 hours. You can binge that in an evening easily.
Yeah.
Dougie. Stop it, Dougie.
I cannot wait for season 2. I'm telling you.
Me neither. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's such a setup from season 1 that, yeah. Also, Lock and Key. I think it was a Steven Schleicher recommendal.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone's recommending this part of the show, but hey, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You can't hear you.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not give her pot. I did not.
Can I be on the show?
I'm sure he loves
Lock
that.
and Key also excellent, and man, feels like a sister program to Umbrella Academy. So if you like one, you'll like the other.
Oh, when's Umbrella Academy coming back on?
Soon, soon. The next season has been approved. All right, so aside from those, let's get to my recommendals. First one is another one you can binge watch an entire season in an evening.
How is that?
What
Sorry.
is that sound? What is that?
It's Mark. It's Mark doing something with his new grill.
Tell him to whisper.
Mute.
Tell the wood whisperer to whisper. Brian's doing all the hits today. It's very good. All right. Sorry.
Here's my clip.
All right. Here's number 1. We're doing 2 of these today. Here you go.
Well, I didn't breastfeed this time, not convenient. Obviously, I was still lactating, so I thought waste not, want not. So I expressed and started making rice puddings.
Out of your breast milk. Good idea.
And it's more natural if you think about it, isn't it? For people to eat a pudding made from human milk. That's what we're used to, isn't it?
Well, when we're babies, maybe. Do other people eat these?
Yeah, they lap it up.
And they know it's your breast milk?
Yeah.
Who eats these?
Mr. Crosby at number 5. He can't get enough. I mean, I can't make huge puddings.
Sure.
Sometimes I have to top it up with cow's milk.
Right.
Anyway, do you want to try?
Nah, we're fine. Thank you. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Are you okay?
No, it's the sight of him just slurping up like a fucking Labrador. Change the subject.
So for the bread, I use my own vaginal yeast.
All right, so tell me this. I think I know this. This is because my daughter watched something, this Ricky Gervais
like
thing.
Afterlife or
yeah,
It's Life.
she says she
exactly what it is.
She said she bawled her eyes out in it. Just bawled her eyes out.
It is such a great show. Afterlife. It's Ricky Gervais. That is probably the most difficult clip to listen to because he does retch a lot during that. But the show is it's so charming. It's basically all right. So you've got Ricky Gervais from the UK Office. He was a jerk, but he didn't know. David Brent didn't really know how big a jerk he was.
Yeah.
In Afterlife, Tony knows exactly how big a jerk he is, and he basically it's the aftermath after his wife passes away from breast cancer, and he's decided he's just going to punish the world by doing whatever he wants. He thinks of it's like his superpower. He has the power to do and say whatever he wants to people.
All right.
And so he just basically says whatever he thinks about people right to their face. But there are, in addition to kind of the comedy moments, there are some really, really tender and sad moments, but all of it's really, really good. There have been 2 seasons, 6 episodes each, 30 minutes per episode. Again, this is like you can binge season 1 in a night and binge season 2 in a night. It's another show kind of like The Office where it's made up so well of all of these ensemble characters. You're going to fall in love with like the sex worker, the nurse, who's the actress who was with Ricky Gervais in the show Extras. She was the other extra that kept getting jobs with him. Mm-hmm. His brother-in-law who runs the newspaper where they work in this little small town. It's like Schitt's Creek meets The Office, if I were to try and describe it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, every time he does one of these projects, like Derek was like this. I loved those seasons of Derek.
Yeah,
I thought
and he knows how to do the touching stuff with the really biting comedy stuff. A really good combination. So
yeah, I like that stuff a lot.
It's on Netflix. 2 seasons. The second season just came out at the end of last week, and Tina and we had just finished the first season, so it was like, great, we are going to continue and binged right through it, and it's so good. It's so good. Afterlife.
All right, I'm into it. My daughter was telling me yesterday. She's like, "You have to see this, Dad." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
I'll watch it."
The last episode got a little touching for Tina. She teared up, but she really enjoyed it too.
All right, here you go. Clip number 2. No setup here.
2.
Just play it.
No setup here. Another series.
All right, here you go.
A good mother makes good choices. And she doesn't drag a child from town to town, school to school. She doesn't smoke marijuana. Just leave her daughter to fend for herself. And she really doesn't leave a baby alone in the cold in front of a fire station.
You didn't make good choices. You had good choices. Options that being rich and white and entitled gave you.
Again, that's the difference between you and me. I would never make this about race.
Elena, you made this about race when you stood out there in the street and begged me to be your maid.
This is not working. I think this is going to be your last day.
You think?
Is this all just a plan with you and Bibi to worm your way into our lives to get to Mirabelle? Why did you even take this job?
I took this job to protect my kid.
From what?
From you.
Okay, so is that... Okay, I got to just make a guess.
Tiny little fires.
Ah, man.
Almost.
You try, Scott.
Hold on. It's what's her name with the chin?
Yeah, it is. It's Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Reese
Or
Witherspoon.
Big Little Fires.
Big Little Fires. So Big Little Lies is the HBO show with Reese Witherspoon. This is Little Fires Everywhere, which is on Hulu. It's Kerry Washington is the other person you hear in that clip. It's basically two mothers, one white and rich, the other one black and not as rich. And the first episode not as rich. And the first episode starts with Reese Witherspoon's house burning down, and the story kind of continues as, okay, who burned down the house?
Yeah.
And you watch Reese Witherspoon, you watch these characters, which are played so excellently by these two actresses and the supporting cast as well in there. And by about episode 4, you're like, yeah, I want to burn down Reese Witherspoon's house.
Wow. Kind of put you in the...
Joshua Jackson is in this from Dawson's Creek and Fringe. He's great. It's a really good series. I think 8 episodes. It's on Hulu, and it was one of these where they doled out every episode. The final episode came out last week, so Tina and I basically started binging it 2 days before and caught up to the last episode.
What's it called again? Tiny Little Fires or Big
Little Fires Everywhere. There is only one adjective. Little Fires Everywhere.
Because we're thinking of Big Little Lies or whatever from the HBO
Big
show.
Little Lies. Yeah, exactly.
It also has Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon's only going to do TV series that have the word little in the title.
Or big. She might go big once in a while.
She might go big.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a continuation of her election character.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Like that's... I wasn't talking to you, Echo.
Oh, it's your Echo,
Anyway.
Is it? Damn, Echo. She's always
So
there.
Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu, based on the book. Differences from the book. Tina read the book, and yeah, there are some differences between the two, but still really good. And check that one out as well. Not as funny as Afterlife.
It sounds like it. Sounded like it was less of a comedy and more of a serious drama. Okay, here's my clip. This is a movie. That's all I'll say. And I've already kind of told Brian before how much I love this, but I'm going to play it again. Here you go.
Hungry? Yeah.
Hey, how's that kid?
He's resting. So where are we?
We are south of the city center. I told Nick that an extraction it's not feasible right now. The city's surrounded by rivers. There are bridges going in and out, but every one of those bridges currently is blocked by a roadblock because you are a very popular individual. I figured we lie low a couple days, we let the panic dissipate, and we'll get you gone.
All right. Guesses?
This is Thor, right? Thor's in this?
It is Thor, yes.
Thor is in it. Yes, Thor is in it.
He said the name of the show or name of the movie right there in that little clip. Too.
Yeah, he did. It's called Extraction. It's out on Netflix. Pretty brand new. Came out last weekend, I want to say. This is clearly a movie that probably would have been in theaters because there's nothing about this that's like low rent or streaming only. It's like a really, really cool movie. I loved this movie. I've described it as this: take your favorite modern warfare scenario story, or even Call of Duty if you want, and it got in the back seat with John Wick, and it had a baby, and that's what Extraction is. Just nonstop action. Chris Hemsworth is in this, like you said. Thor's in this. He plays this mercenary who used to be in the Australian military, but now he just kind of does contract work. And he gets hired for one more job, kind of one of those things, with this team of mercenaries. And their job is to go rescue this kid who's been kidnapped from his very rich but also very evil father in India, who is in prison currently. He's a big giant drug kingpin. And they're basically two big drug factions in this part of India. And Hemsworth goes to save this kid who's like 13, 14 years old. And in the meantime has to fight both sides of this conflict to try to get the kid because they all want to get him for leverage because they want to have the biggest drug empire, blah, blah, blah. It's all none of that is super groundbreaking, but the way it's executed is so good. It is so good. The kid who plays the kid is amazing. What's his name? It's right here. I'm just gonna give that boy some credit. Is it Radushi? Yeah, I shouldn't try that name. But he's an amazing little actor. Chris Hemsworth is really great in this. Plays kind of the perfect sort of conflicted, seen a lot of bad stuff in his life and time kind of army dude. He's buff as hell. That dude. He's so freaking ripped.
Mhm.
This also has David Harbour from Stranger Things. That was him actually having that conversation with him in that clip. And that was one of the most quiet moments I could find. Everything else is a lot of shooting and banging up and stuff. He's very good in it also. Just a great cast. It's a small cast. Doesn't need a ton of people to get the job done. It is just, white knuckle action pretty much the entire film with a very, very short couple of moments that are kind of quiet like that. This will make people excited. The Russo brothers, who made Endgame, or directed Endgame and Infinity War, the last two Marvel movies, and Winter Soldier, and Civil War, I think they did all those.
Maybe, yeah.
The Russos produced this, but also Joe Russo wrote the screenplay. And it's directed by Sam Hargrave, and I am here to tell you, it is the most fun I've had in an action movie in a really long time. I really, really freaking liked it.
Very cool.
The stunt work is amazing. The chase scenes are freaking incredible. Like, mind-blowingly, this should have been in movie theaters style stuff. And someone in the chat, Jakey Grammer, says Sam Hargrave is known for lots of stunts in his movies. This really shows the stunt work.
Oh, very cool.
It's something else, man. So I cannot recommend it enough. It is very good. Do not worry that it's like it's not like a military thing that's meant to make you feel horrible about humanity. That's not the job here. The job here is more Bruckheimer excitement, sort of
nonstop action.
Yeah,
kinda.
Well-made action.
Extraction.
Yeah, it's very good. And I think Hemsworth's great. And there's an ending that I love. The twisty ending's really great. It's just cool. And I hope there's more of these and more of this style of stuff that ends up happening, because it's great. So Kim and I loved it. It's very R-rated, lots of swears, some violent ends to some people and that sort of thing. But it's really good. I liked it a lot.
Cool.
Okay.
You made me think of Westworld when you said violent ends.
Oh yeah.
Are either you watching the third season?
Yeah, I'm loving this third season. I'm loving it. I know it's not for everybody.
Second season was horrible, and I just kind of like, do I want to give my time?
You need to get into it, because
I hated the second season.
Second season was not great. Third season so far, they have impressed me across the board. I really like where it's going. It's very, very interesting. All right.
Okay.
Give it a shot. Just watch the first
violent ends or whatever.
Violent delights.
Watch your first episode of season 3, and then you'll know from there what the tone's going to be. You'll have an idea of where you're going. All right. Tell us about what you got there, Nicole.
All right. So I'm going back to old movies that I really like and make me laugh. So here's
it's
one.
A good time for that. Yeah.
Yep. Here you go. Here's the clip.
All right. I'm going to hit play. Here we go. Hope the volume's good.
Little problem in the kitchen. Nothing trivial.
Oh, we film sack this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the turkey's done.
So's the kitchen. Actually, it's a little overdone for my taste. Let's not go there again.
You don't want to tell me what happened?
No, I don't.
All right.
You missed the best part where he's laughing.
I'll do that. I can play that. Hold on. Does he do it right after this?
I think so. When it falls.
I don't think that can hurt us anymore.
I'll skip ahead. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is the famous laugh. It's pretty good.
I love it. It doesn't get old either. Like it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix,
does the Money Pit not stress you out? Because it stresses me out every time I watch it.
No, it doesn't stress me out.
Oh. I hate
I've
house
been
stuff.
through a number of house renovations.
You look at it, you see it as a challenge, not as a stress out moment. Yeah. Like, I could totally do something with that.
Yeah.
Like, totally glue that house back together.
Just every time a stuff
I will
breaks.
not like you anymore.
I think the problem is it makes me, like, even when we did it for Film Sack, it just made me think of how my plumbing was being weird, or how the freaking heater wasn't working.
No, it doesn't
right.
stress
You
me
can watch
out.
it now because of the heating now, right?
Yeah,
like
now I got a new problem.
Yeah.
So house stuff is hard for me. I don't know why it stresses me out, but it's a good movie. It still holds up. I think I like it.
It holds up.
Yeah.
I noticed that Blazing Saddles was on Hulu, and I started to watch Blazing Saddles, and I was like, I don't remember this movie being this movie, and it was a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I know it's meant to be funny, but when social norms change on
Mhm.
certain words, and then you
Yeah.
hear those words, and you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up watching The Money Pit instead. But yeah, I love The Money Pit.
I don't
There you
know. I don't know if there's any movie of that era. It's funny because at the time when it came out, it felt like it wasn't that great. Like people weren't really big on The Money Pit, but it
Mhm.
stood the test of time. Like it's a weirdly approachable, doesn't look old, seems to be, I don't know. It's weird. Some movies do that, right? Like they don't hit when they hit. And this wasn't
Right.
a giant hit when it hit. This was supposed to be Shelley Long's great launch into super popular movie career. And it didn't really work for her,
Yeah, well, she did a couple of movies that I adored her in, and she did that Afterlife
Outrageous Fortune?
movie.
Hmm.
No, well, Outrageous Fortune with Bette Midler. I really liked her in that. There was also the one where she was reincarnated, or she came back to life. Her sister
Oh,
brought her
something
back to life.
again. Yeah.
Hello Again, or something.
Hello
like
again. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I really enjoy Shelley Long. So yeah, I'm. It seems like she had a good
Troop
career,
Beverly
but then
Hills.
yeah. Oh, I love that one too. So I mean, I think she kind of had her moment,
Yeah.
but then she kind of went away.
Yeah, she did. Well, I mean, she was great in Modern Family when she would come on there.
Oh, yeah.
She was not Dunphy's mom, but
Claire's mom.
Claire's mom. Yeah.
And it's weird for them to kill off a character, and it's been a long time since they did this, so it's not a spoiler. But killing off a character where the actor or actress didn't die as well. Like usually that's sitcom
Mhm.
tradition. Oh no, this actor passed away. We got to figure out how to kill off their character. Nope, they killed her off before.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just, I like her a lot. Like I watch Cheers now and go, man, Shelley Long, you were great. There's nothing wrong with you.
Cheers is streaming on Netflix too.
Oh yeah, we watch the thing. That thing's on half my time. Thing's just always on. But I just really wish she would have found a firmer hold in Hollywood, because I think she had the talent for it. I just think she has a specific kind of fit, right? It's hard to explain.
A little bit neurotic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The thing that made her great on Cheers, it was the perfect fit. And
Yeah.
since then, it's just kind of hard to find those. But I think playing Claire's mom was a good fit. But that's like 30 years later. Like, got to have more stuff to do in the between. What's that other one that you like? That all my friends who are girls and my wife and everybody and their kids, they loved.
Troop Beverly Hills.
Troop Beverly Hills, the one you just said.
Oh yeah, Troop Beverly
What is
Hills
it
was
about
great.
that's great? Is that a thing? I never saw it. I always assume, hey, that's a movie for girls. I'm not going to watch that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was fun. It
Okay.
was just fun,
Jeannie says yuck. Jeannie doesn't like anything.
I thought it was fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it has like teen, little girl angst,
Yeah.
and she's like hoity-toity rich woman who gets. I can't remember how she gets the troop,
Yeah.
but it's one of those learning experiences. It's trite and whatever, but it's still fun.
Right. I just thought of the comparison. Phoebe, played by what's her name? Friends Phoebe.
Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow. She's like the Shelley Long of modern times, because perfect for that role. She's done some other stuff for sure. Other things here and there, good stuff.
But plays the neurotic characters beautifully.
Yeah, and it's not really typecasting. It's just that it's just hard to put her in another thing that isn't those things.
Yeah. Like her character on Web Therapy, or the what was the HBO thing where she was an actress who kind of came back after.
Oh, I
being
liked
out of
that.
public
That was really
eye.
funny. It was
that
short.
was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it only lasted like a season or something, but it was very good.
Mhm.
Anyway, Kudrow, there's your combo. Well, all right. I'm going to think about watching The Money Pit. Probably not. It makes me nervous. I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, it's fun. It's a fun throw it on. If there's just sometimes that you don't have a lot of mental energy to put into watching a movie, and that's the kind of movie that I'm just like, just put it on and chuckle.
Yeah, just let it
Yeah,
spin.
so anything by Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I don't have any mental energy right now. How about Marked for Death?
That's right.
No.
Marked for Death. You know what's funny is I think that's an actual name of one of his movies, right?
I don't know. I think it is. I'm
but
not sure.
That's what I'm saying.
It
I
probably
could
is.
never be sure. You could say any of those combo of words, and I'd go,
Right.
"Yeah, that sounds right. It sounds like one of his for sure."
On deadly ground.
Yeah, there you
That
go.
one is, yeah.
Under the certain siege.
Under the siege.
Under the siege. Anyway, Nicole, pleasure is always ours to have you here. If you want to follow her on Twitter, it's Nicole Spag. She'll link these cool things that we watched and talked about a little bit later on Twitter. She's a good follow anyway, so you should go do that. Nicole, we hope you don't get stoned this week.
I won't.
All right.
Not for me.
I enjoyed that
Bye.
story. Bye.
Bye.
I enjoyed that story a lot.
It's funny. I didn't even realize. I didn't even think about the fact that my Little Fires Everywhere clip begins with Reese Witherspoon yelling at Kerry Washington for not being a good mom because she smoked marijuana. So I was like, Simon.
Nicely done. Nicely done. That's a happy circumstance that happened there. All right, we have come to the conclusion of things. Quick note that today I'll be on DTNS. Core is tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, so got a lot to say about that Gears Tactics, so stick around for that. Hope I get some more time today, actually, to play that if I can squeeze it in. There's also a Coverville today. Tell us what we're getting.
There is. It's going to be over at twitch.tv/Coverville at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the last Beatles album to be released. Not the last Beatles album to be recorded. They recorded Abbey Road and released that before Let It Be, but Let It Be came out from the Get Back sessions. So songs like Get Back, Maggie May, Let It Be, of course, I, Me, Mine, Across the Universe, some of their greatest songs, as well as some bonus stuff like Don't Let Me Down. Some great covers that you're going to hear from folks like Nick Kershaw and Kim Wilde, Kevin Rowland from Dexy's Midnight Runners, Pearl Jam, Leibach, the German industrial heavy band that did an entire track-by-track cover of Let It Be. Anyway, Let It Be today at 1 p.m. Mountain Time,
right.
twitch.tv/Coverville.
Nice. Everybody tune in. Check it out. A reminder, this show is propped up by you and your contributions at patreon.com/TMS. We love that you do it. Please continue. For those who haven't, consider it. You get bonus shows that you can't get in any other way. You also get all kinds of cool stuff in the mail. Lots of reasons to join up at patreon.com/TMS. I'm going to start mentioning people's names. Oh, by the way, I have an idea that I want to start doing at the end of the show. I'm stealing this from Tom Merritt.
Ooh, okay.
So they started doing this thing where during the pandemic and during the shutdown, there are a lot of creators like us out there with maybe a smaller fan base because they're newer at it, or they're just working on trying to come up with what they want to do. And maybe it's even just a side thing that they do. But in all of this hubbub, it's hard to get as noticed. And so I would like to start giving shout outs to people who do cool things. Like Jason today with his Nerd Cave Retro show. That's the thing I'd like to mention at the end of the show. Go look that up, by the way. It's a good show.
Cool.
But if anybody out there has something they're doing on the side, Run, Jump, Stomp is a great show, video game show that that Bill does. It's amazing.
Bill is fantastic, and I'm going to be. He's got another one called 143 Pixels that you and I are both going to be guests on.
Yeah,
I tried to guess, by the way, what game, and I guessed Joust, but it was something different that was your pick for game. You probably very easily could guess my pick.
Oh yeah, I know
for what
your
game
pick.
I talked about for an hour.
Oh
but,
yeah, heck yeah. I assume it's the one that. Let's just say they're.
You can see a little bit of it in the corner of your screen, as a matter of fact.
There's a certain vector in which I could look
That's
at it.
right, yes.
Anyway.
I'll plug something really quick then too. I was just on Travis's show, which is called What You Haven't Seen ... which is a show you go on when people are amazed that there's a movie that you haven't seen, and it's your shame. I had never seen the movie Jumanji until this last weekend, and I watched it, and Travis and I talked about it. Travis, of course, one of our contestants on America's Next Top Podcaster last season.
This the original Jumanji or one of the new ones?
It's the original Jumanji, and now that I've seen that, now I can see the newer Jumanjis with Karen Gillian and The Rock. And
I'm sure that's all you were waiting for, right?
that's all I'm waiting for. That was because, I'm not going to understand anything that's going on if I don't see the original Robin Williams.
Well, you're a lore nerd. You like to get your lore right. I understand.
That's right.
That's fine.
That's right. So go to tvstravis.com and Gillian. I'm sorry, did I say Gilliam?
I thought you said Gillian.
Nebula.
Sky.
Gillian.
Sky Sword.
She was the girl who waited.
She is the girl that waited. She also got torn apart in Endgame. So there's that.
She did.
So a quick note of interest. If you want to be a cool thing that you do, and that all is coming out wrong. If you do a cool thing, if you do a podcast, a YouTube channel, whatever, you're an animator, you're an artist, you do a webcomic, whatever, go to the website. That's at frogpants.com/TMS. Use the little contact form on there and give us a link in your name, and we'd be happy to, at the end of shows, mention people's stuff, because I think this would be it's a good time to do it. We're all trying to help each other out here. So thanks, Tom, for the idea, and thank you anyone who submits those. We'll watch for those and have those throughout the week. All right. Couple quick things. Reminder, Carter and I, speaking of free things, are doing free art classes for your kids or adults if you want to be there. It's up to you. But if you've got kids anywhere from 8 to 99, or even younger, 6, I guess we're going to aim for. 6 to 12 is kind of the happy range, but anybody can come. We're teaching them starting this Saturday, every Saturday for the month of May at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, every Saturday. So come and be a part of it, and you just hang out at this Twitch channel. We'll have mods here to keep things nice and clean for the kids, and all they need is what's on the website. You can find that at frogpants.com/artclass. It's right up at the top of the page, too, so you can't miss it. Find out all about it if you are interested in such a thing. I'll bring it up one more time tomorrow before the weekend, and we hope to see a bunch of you there. All right, that's going to do it. Let's get out of here. Do you have a song I can hear in my head?
Yeah, I guess. Okay. You know what? I'll open this up so everybody else can hear it in their head as well.
Okay.
Jess Choi wrote in and said, I would love a cover request to be played for my next big